Boo! At the open, all-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy.
Now what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up happen.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning, I wanna turn on this. Deck it quick. While the average man looking at this sad like she fine as yeah. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5-6. I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dropped, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater, Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounce. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thought, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. Yeah. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trigger, and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit them up with this resistance. Watch them roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and egg, make profits. Light up, watching them gain, make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packets. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETF. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing, dog? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits. That TTG money gang, hey, we some snipers.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Little bit of a bounce back day today after the huge sell-off on Wednesday. Is it over? Or is there more coming to the downside next week? That's what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know is, all right, well, we bounced back today. What is that? Does that mean the Santa Claus rally is back on? Or is this a head fake? And is there more room back to the downside next week? Well, we're going to talk about all that today on this live stream, and I'm also going to answer your questions. So anything you guys want to know, it's been a huge week for us inside of True Trading Group. Actually, I think this was actually our best P&L week of the year. There were so many trading opportunities in the markets this week. And our moderators had some milestone trades. Our moderators had some milestone weeks. But more importantly, our members had milestone trades, milestone days, and milestone weeks themselves, reaching personal best on many of them. And it's a testament to not just, True Trading Group, but it's a testament to the market environment that we have found ourselves in. I think a lot of people got nervous and were scared on Wednesday when the market sold off to the downside, but there's nothing to be scared of. You're still in a tremendous bull market over the last 2 years. Nothing goes up in a straight line. The market's pulled back 3.5% off the all-time high. Not that big of a deal. But it's not that big of a deal now. Does it become a big deal? Is what people are worried about. And whenever the markets pull back, even if it's only 3.5%, people get very nervous. They think that 3.5% is going to turn to 10, is going to turn into 20, is going to turn into 40, is going to turn into the world is going to end. I promise you the world is not going to end. And if you feel that way coming into this live stream, then I'm here to tell you that you can stop feeling that way. And we'll talk all about it here on this live. My name is Michael Edward Paranada. I go by Michael Edward. I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group. We actually, if you guys are unfamiliar, we actually received the Benzinga FinTech Chairman's Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. We have implemented AI technology into our platform for our members. It helps them analyze trades, make decisions, and have much better make better decisions and have a lot higher rates of success. There is the actual Benzinga Chairman's Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. My business partner and I were there just last month receiving that award. There we are, right there on stage, my business partner and I receiving the award at the Benzinga FinTech Award ceremony. Like I said, we did receive the Chairman's Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. So it's nice to see that the industry and industry leaders are taking note or are taking notice of what it is that we are doing, implementing AI, so that it makes your life easier. That's essentially really what it is. Our AI, it's not that our AI predicts the future. Like, don't look for an AI tool that's going to predict the future, because there is no AI that can actually predict the future. Our AI is designed proprietary and is designed for better analysis, faster analysis, trade execution, trade plan development. Like, okay, where is support? Where is resistance? What's the volatility factor here? What position size should I buy? What options contract should I buy? What's the probability that the stock goes up versus go down in the next 24 to 48 hours? Things like that. Okay, that is what has allowed a lot of our members. We have over 10,000 members in 115 different countries, many of which have a full-time job. 82% of our members, 82% of our members have a full-time job. So they really need tools and resources and technology that can allow them to benefit from the market while they're busy and while they're living their lives and they're working and they have all these other responsibilities. They can't sit in front of a computer screen all day, every day, and pay attention to the markets like I can. So we've created technology and resources and tools that makes it easier for the everyday person to take advantage of this market environment and to make money in this market environment. And that's why we're all here, and that's what matters most. And that's exactly what we're accomplishing. Hence, the award, right? But your trading group is not just about awards. We are also the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform that combines university level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops. We do individual coaching and mentorship for stocks, options, crypto, and futures. We trade it all. We day trade and we swing trade. We even cover long-term investing. We actually made a couple of moves today in the long-term portfolio that we can talk about a little bit later on. Okay. But you might be wondering at this point why you should listen to anything it is that I say on this YouTube channel. And it's because I didn't figure this stuff out on my own. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I began my career working at T3 Alpha Fund in New York City, my first job out of college, where they had me go through a training program before they let me touch $1 of the fund's money. And then 2008 happened, which was the Great Recession and the big stock market crash, but it's also the same year I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, and I'm the co-founder and the head trader at TTG, and along with my team of 8 other professional full-time trading moderators and an over 30-person staff, we've helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. Like I said to you before, 10,000 members in 115 different countries, truly members from all walks of life and all experience levels. So if you guys are ready to learn, trade, and profit for real, you've come to the right place. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, don't ever miss out on these live streams because we're dropping golden nuggets on a regular basis. Set your reminders now. I'm going to go live on Sunday. And I'm going to give you my exact detailed game plan of how I plan on making money next week. I'm going to give you the exact stocks I'm looking at, the exact prices that I'm looking to get into them at. I'm going to lay out the whole game plan for you on Sunday. So make sure you set your reminders now for the Sunday live stream, which will be taking place at 6:30 p.m. Eastern right here. I want to give a big shout out to my boy, Justin Davis, who's commenting in chat, says, hey, Mike, been a while since I've been on the live stream, but I'm still making on average of $1,500 per day because of the True Trading Group education. There it is, Justin Davis. I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that. And I got to give a big shout out also to Just Patience K. Hope I'm not jinxing myself, but my day trade account is up 120% this week. Wow. I told you that a lot of our members had milestone weeks, milestone days, milestone trades. And there they are. There it actually is right there. That's incredible. It really is. That's absolutely incredible. How low do you think Tesla, how do you think Tesla does next week? Allah 23. I'll answer that question in just a little while. Before I get into that, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the overall markets, what the hell happened a couple days ago, and what we think is going to happen now moving forward in the week to come. The markets sold off hard on Wednesday, right? Unless you guys have been living under a rock, you know that we had this brutal day on Wednesday. It's a massive sell-off. And why did we have that massive sell-off? Well, Jerome Powell really didn't do the bull market or the Santa Claus rally any favors on Wednesday. The Federal Reserve cut rates by 25 basis points. And everybody might think to themselves, well, then if they cut rates, and why did the markets go down? It's not because they cut rates. The markets went down because they said they're going to cut rates a lot less next year. Stephen Mulcahy says, I booked all of my 2025 vacations this week with profits from this month. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Members having monster weeks, monster months, because that's a market that we find ourselves in. My boy Wizard, what's up, man? What's up, Mike? Another green week along with TTG. Actually, green month so far. Thanks for the great analysis. It's my pleasure. Plenty more where that came from. It's been a fantastic month. It's been a fantastic year. I'm almost sad to see 2024 go, but I'm really excited for 2025. I think 2025 is going to be nuts. I think you're going to see a real increase in volatility next year. I think you're going to see at some point next year, I expect a correction. I expect the market to pull back more than 10% at some point next year. And that's going to just make everybody's hair just catch on fire and run around like their pants are on fire and run around like a chicken with no head. And we're going to absolutely slaughter that market environment. We're going to make money on the way down. And then we're going to take those profits and we're going to cycle them back into the long-term portfolio. Because I think when that correction comes next year, if I'm right, I don't know if I'm right, I might be wrong. But if I'm right, we're going to have a really great buying opportunity in the long-term portfolio. And there's a specific list of stocks that I'm going to share with all of our members that we're going to be eyeing up for some ads next year. Today, I broke past my first $5,000 profit day. Siamese, see ya. Hell Yes. Congratulations, Siamese Sia says, today I broke past my first $5,000 profit in a single day. I'd say that your holidays are looking pretty bright, Siamese Sia. If you want to, Joe, if you want to grab that comment and throw it up on the screen just so people can see Siamese Sia. Where are you, Joseph? There he is. There it is. Today I broke past my first $5,000 profit day. This is what this is all about, right? This is about members making money. It's not, doesn't matter how much money that I make. That's what I want everybody to understand. I can sit here on this live stream and I can say, hey, I made $1 bajillion this year. It doesn't matter what I make, because not one of the dollars that I make, not one of the bajillion, is going to go towards paying your bills. It's not. I love you all to death, but I'm not going to give you any of the money that I've earned. It's on you to earn it for yourself. And you can earn it for yourself by following a lot of the moderators that are in True Trading Group. We tell you all the trades that we're in, we're out. We give you real-time push notifications where our mods enter and exit positions, so you guys can follow along with what we're doing. Even if you're not in front of your computer, there's a mobile app that sends you push notifications in case you're not in front of your computer when we get in and out of these positions. So that way, that's how 82% of our members with full-time jobs, that's how they follow along with what we're doing. But it's also by getting a real education, understanding how to do this on a professional level, because you guys get the education that I received when I worked at a fund in New York. It's basically, that's what the education at True Trading Group is. It's a simplified and expanded upon version of that training that I went through. So you're not going to learn some like a little stupid gimmick. You're going to learn the way that I was taught working on Wall Street. That's first and foremost. But then secondly, like you saw with the Benzinga FinTech Award, we have implemented tools, resources, and technology that levels the playing field for retail traders. If all you have been doing up until this time is just you have a Robinhood account and you just been on Reddit or X and you're just buying and selling what people talk about on social media, you are at a massive disadvantage. You're at a massive disadvantage because you don't have access to everything that professional traders have access to. Professional traders have access to software, algorithms, data, information, news that you do not have access to, or if you do have access to it, you have much more delayed access to it, where they will get this information much faster than you. They will be able to analyze data much faster than you because of these tools and resources. We are building a platform for retail traders that rivals the Bloomberg terminal for institutions. Institutions and hedge funds all around the world all use a Bloomberg terminal. The Bloomberg terminal, if you want it for yourself, it's going to cost you $27,000 a year. Each terminal is $27,000 a year. The average retail trader is not going to spend that. If you have a $5,000 account in E-Trade or a $1,000 account in Webull, you're certainly not going to spend $27,000 for a Bloomberg terminal. Good news is you don't have to. You can spend $847 and get access to True Trading Group, because we are putting all of these tools and resources onto our platform so that you can use them and have access. Oh, there you go. Look at that. I broke $10,000 between Uni's Boeing option and then my MicroStrategy trade. My MicroStrategy trade that I actually just got out of yesterday, it's my second biggest P&L trade of the year. So big shout out and big congratulations there. Way to go, Chief This. Chief This is actually a member that has now become a full-time trader, has quit their job and has become a full-time trader because of True Trading Group. And you guys don't have to take my word for this, right? You don't take my word for it. You see the comments coming through chat, but I want you to see for yourself that members are making money, and that's what matters. And that's why you should join True Trading Group. When people ask me, well, what makes you different? Why should you join True Trading Group? I think they're expecting me to talk about myself and what makes me such an amazing trader. That's what people expect me to say. And when people ask me, why should I join True Trading Group? It actually has nothing to do with me and everything to do with our members. And this is what I mean. Members of True Trading Group, do me a favor. If you guys are on the live stream and you are a member, type the number 1 if you're making money and becoming better traders because of TTG. Just go ahead and type the number 1 if you're making money and becoming a better trader because of TTG. Anybody that's watching this live stream that is not a member and you want to know why you should join, this is the reason why you should join. Not because the moderators and I collectively have a 100% win rate. Not because I can predict the future. The reason why you should join True Trading Group is because our members make money. And I'm sure if you're on this live stream, that's your goal too, is to learn how to make money from the markets. But if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't accomplished that yet, at least on a consistent basis, then you have to start doing something differently. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and think you're going to get a different result. You guys know the deal. You hear it all the time, right? That's the definition of insanity. You got to try something different. That is what makes True Trading Group different from all the rest. That is why you should join True Trading Group. Now, I'm going to get into what I think the markets do next week. I'm going to get into my thoughts about what happened this week and whether or not I think that it's possible we have a Santa Claus rally into the end of the year, or if I think there's more downside. We're going to talk about that. Before I do, I want you guys to know, for those of you that are not members, that our holiday sale is off and running. You have an opportunity now to join an annual membership to True Trading Group for 60% off. The annual membership is now just $847 for the entire year. Go to ttgoffer.com. Everything on that page is included. No additional cost, no hidden fee, no upsell for anything you see on that page. You go to ttgoffer.com. There's no coupon code needed. You pay $847. You become part of the family for a full year. You get access to all of our courses and all of our educational material. You get access to Benzinga Pro's newsfeed, TradingView's premium charting software, the Trade Idea Scanner, unusual options activity, options flow, dark pool data, short data, congressional trading data, 1,000 hours of recorded workshops covering different trading topics that the moderators and I have hosted with members in the past. And you can start attending these things live once you guys become a member. All of this is included when you join TTG, our annual membership, for just $847. Just go to ttgoffer.com. And if you're still on the fence, have no fear. I know I talk a big game on these live streams, but I back it up with our own money. We offer anyone that joins TTG a double your money back guarantee. It's very simple. You join today, you pay $847. I ask you to go through the courses, pass the quizzes, attend one study group. We do study groups every week. I'm asking you to attend one. They're free. If you do that and you are still unable to make enough winning trades to equal the $847 membership fee, you can't do that even one time, we're going to give you back $1,694. We're going to give you back double what you paid to join. It's right there on the checkout page. It's in black and white. There it is. Go read it. I can offer you double your money back because our refund rate, it's less than 2.5%. And our retention rate is in the mid 70%. So when members join True Trading Group at a rate of around 75%, they either renew their annual membership or they've upgraded to become a lifetime member of the community. Guys, do me a favor. Type the number 2 if you're a lifetime member or if you've renewed your annual membership. And again, anybody that's not a member, why should you join True Trading Group? This is going to be why. Because all of these people you're about to see type the number 2, you have to ask yourself, why would they renew their membership? Or why would they upgrade and spend thousands of dollars to become a lifetime member if they were not having success? Would you? Ask yourself, would you? If you joined today, you paid $847, fast forward December 20th, 2025, and you're like, am I going to renew my membership? Well, I really didn't make any money. Worse, I lost money. Then most likely you're not going to renew your membership. You're sure as hell not going to spend a few $1,000 to become a lifetime member of the platform. So then ask yourself, like, why did all these people you see typing the number 2, why did they? Why did they renew? Why did they become lifetime? And it goes back to the first question that I asked them. Are you making money? And you saw the response. So don't join True Trading Group because I'm the world's greatest trader. Join True Trading Group because TTG works. It works for our 10,000 members in 115 different countries with all different experience levels, all different jobs and responsibilities during the day. So if it can work for them, it can work for you. If you have any questions, text us 1-888-621-2127. Phone number is right down there on the bottom of your screen, 1-888-621-2127. 2127. Text that number with any questions that you guys have. We'll answer any questions. We're here to help. We're fully transparent. We are an open book. Otherwise, go right to ttgoffer.com. No coupon code needed. And take advantage of the holiday sale, $847 for the entire year. And when you guys join, because our regular price is over $2,000. If you join today and you pay $847, you'll only pay $847 when it comes time to renew. So when you join, you lock yourself in at that price. So like next year, if you want to renew, it's not going to cost you $2,000. It'll only cost you the $847. Okay, so you just pay the $847 there this year, and then you lock yourself in at that price for next year if you decide you want to renew, which I'm confident you're going to because our members do at a rate of around 75%. Okay, beautiful. Again, that's ttgoffer.com. All right, let's take things on over to the charts. Interesting day today. Very interesting day today, folks. I gotta tell you, I am pleased with the recovery today. We were down a lot. We were down a lot this morning in the overnight session. We got as low as 578. So we actually got as low as right here. We got this low in the pre-market session, right? And the reason why that is significant is because that is this previous level from prior to the election. That's the election gap, right? So see this big gap up right here? That's the gap up right after the election. After Trump won the election, you had a gap up to new all-time highs. You held support, you pulled back in, support, rallied to new all-time highs. Then Jerome Powell put a damper on the Santa Claus rally by saying, we're not going to cut rates next year as much as we thought. We're not going to cut rates in 2026 as much as we thought. And our expectation for inflation next year has actually gone up. So that made people feel very uneasy. And Jerome Powell himself seemed very uneasy, and he seemed very uncertain about the path of inflation and the jobs market and the economy next year. He did not seem as decisive, confident, in control as he sounded last Fed meeting. The last Fed meeting was a very different Jerome Powell. He seemed very sure of himself. He seemed like he was very much in control. This Jerome Powell seemed a lot more uncertain. And it's not that he just seemed uncertain. He literally said it 13 times. In the press conference, Jerome Powell said the word uncertain 13 times. Now, the last Fed meeting, he only said it 5 times. Goes to show you just how uncertain he really is. And that's what prompted that sell-off. I think people came into that Fed meeting thinking to themselves a little too optimistically. I don't think that the sell-off on Wednesday is that something's changed, meaning like fundamentally something's changed. What I think has changed is people's perspective and perception of what we're going to be getting into next year and the certainty around it. I think you saw a risk adjusting or a risk adjustment, that people were just way too optimistic that everything was going to go right. And that's not realistic. What is realistic is, well, there's a possibility that things go wrong next year. And that possibility was overlooked. I think Jerome Powell's press conference brought that back into focus, which is it's possible that inflation moves higher next year. It's possible that the labor market weakens further next year. One thing Jerome Powell said about the labor market, which the market really didn't like, and you saw some selling pressure come in when he said it, he said that the labor market is now looser than it was before COVID and is continuing to cool. That was the exact sentence. The labor market is looser than it was before COVID and is continuing to cool. That is not what the market wanted to hear. The market wants to hear that the labor market is stable. It still is stable at this current moment in time. The labor market is still standing on 2 feet, but you don't want the legs of the labor market to get tired, because if the labor market starts to get tired and you start to see a cracking of the labor market, then that would pose a real problem for next year, because the Fed's not going to be able to cut rates more aggressively if inflation is being stubborn. And that potential possibility, I think, was overlooked. And Jerome Powell brought that back into focus. And I think the market got a little too far ahead of itself. I think people got a little bit too bullish. I think people got a little bit too euphoric You had after the election, there was like this like euphoric rally in the market. Look what the markets did. And I think people forgot about the risks. And I think you saw a repricing of that risk on Wednesday. I don't think that this is the start of some massive sell-off over the next several weeks. I think it's a repricing of risk. I think people are saying, you know what? I'm still bullish, but we need to be a little bit more responsible about the risk hedging that professional portfolio managers are going to do. That's what I think you saw happen on Wednesday. That brings a focal point now back on inflation data. The last couple of months, your CPI inflation data has really not been that important. You actually have had the CPI number go up for the last 3 months, but it was in line with expectations. So there was no surprise, but it's still ticking up a little bit. It's still in the mid to high twos. We're not at 2%, which is where we want to get to, even though they're 2% figures on the PCE number, but you were ticking up to the upside. And people shrugged it off. They shrugged it off as, yeah, I know, but you're not just going to go down in a straight line. You're going to get a couple months where it ticks up and then back down and then up and then back down. And people just took for granted that inflation was going to continue to go back down. It's not going to move higher into next year and get back above 3% again. And what Jerome Powell said in his press conference, the uncertainty of the path of inflation, I think made people say, okay, actually, then there really is a potential, especially with, policies into next year, with, the economy doing better than people had thought. If the Chinese economy comes back online, that's going to be inflationary. Like, inflation does have a potential to move back up next year. So now I think that CPI, PPI, PCE numbers now are going to come back into focus. If you go back like a year and a half ago, CPI numbers were everything. The biggest moves in the market were always CPI days, because that was the piece of data that mattered the most. And then it started to die out and become less important as inflation came down. And now that inflation's gotten under 3%, it's become very uneventful on CPI days, because people now have taken for granted that inflation is down. Now it's in people's minds again, it could tick back up. So now when you get these numbers, we got to pay very close attention to it. I said to you guys in the live stream yesterday that coming into today, I thought the PCE inflation number this morning at 8:30 was going to be very, very important. And I said to you specifically, yesterday on the live stream, if the PCE number is lighter than expected, I think the markets bounce. I said that to you yesterday on the live stream. Well, what happened today? Today, we had this, the markets were gapping down. PCE number was lighter than expected. All across the board, PCE was lighter than expected. So it was cooler than what was expected. And then you got massive rally off the open. Huge rally off the open. There were not one, not two, but 3 triple-digit gains on SPY call options alerted by Diane Fig, one of our moderators at True Trading Group. So Diane Fig specifically trades 0 DTE SPY options, and she trades individual stock options also, but her bread and butter is really the SPY. And she traded not 1, not 2, but 3 100% gain option trades during that hour and a half rally. And members absolutely crushed it. We also had Colin, who trades futures in our futures trading room, caught the long on ES and NQ. Members absolutely crushed that move in the morning. We also had a lot of other people that were long individual stocks, DraftKings and Palantir, as those stocks continue to rally as well. So it was a fantastic morning. And it takes us now to say, well, where do we go from here? Right? Where do we go from here? Now the PC number came in lighter than expected. Now you get this candle. This is a funky looking candle. I would have definitely preferred if the market closed here. Because if the market closed here, that would have given you a bullish engulfing candle. This is not a bullish engulfing candle. You had the potential, if you closed up around 594, 595 near the high of the day, that would have been a bullish engulfing candle at support, which would have then given me confidence that next week we were going to continue to move back higher, and we're going to go back and test your next resistance level, which is going to be up there around the low 600, 601 to 602.5, right? That's what would have been my plan for next week. But that's not what you got. You got this nasty looking little tail here where we were only able to kind of hold half of today's recovery. And that brings you into next week with a lot of potential unknowns. And I'm telling you right now, I'm coming into next week very neutral. I am not yet sold that this bounce is going to continue next week. And I'm not yet sold that this bounce is going to fade it back out. I'm not. But what I am convinced, and I have high conviction on, is if next week we get this right here, I'm looking for a long. Okay. So, and I'll talk to you guys more about this on Sunday night. Again, I'm going to go live on Sunday night. We'll see where the futures market is, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. If there's more downside going into next week, I think you might fill the election gap and then try to bounce from there. And then I think you can maybe try to catch a nice little move back to the upside. What I don't think is going to happen is I don't think you're just going to cut through this and the market's going to do this. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that would be, indicative of something fundamentally has really changed and that something is wrong. Right now, nothing is necessarily wrong. I just think it's a readjusting of risk positioning going into next year. And that means that there should be some buying opportunities on some really strong quality names on the back of this pullback, which you've already seen happen with a lot of different names like Apple, right? Look at Apple today. Apple made a new all-time high, right? Literally, Apple made a new all-time high. So there's your sell-off on Wednesday, and then Apple made a new all-time high today, right? Palantir, there's your sell-off on Wednesday, and then Palantir back to its all-time high today. So it's not that there's weakness everywhere you look in this market. There's a lot of areas of the market that are actually very strong. You can see that. Look at Amazon with a really nice recovery back day today as well. There's a lot of stocks out there that actually still look really, really good. Okay, so I think there's going to be a buy the dip opportunity in a lot of those names. I'm going to wait and see what happens, where the markets are on Monday before I try to make a stance. But I am going to say to myself, the deeper we get into this gap fill, the more I like the long. And I think that we can look for next week, maybe some support around that 590 zone to give us a trade. And then what I do have high conviction on as well is if you do get a bounce, I would look for pullbacks off of 602, 601, because this was your previous support level. And when this support level broke on Wednesday, that's when the floodgates opened, right? So this used to be resistance, broke above it, support, and then crack. So if you get back up into this level, that is an area where I would say you look for that to be resistance and you look for a pullback back away from that level because that level should stick. And if I take you back just to a 3-minute chart, you guys can see. So here's that line, right? Look. So this is the line that I just drew on the daily chart. See it? You broke underneath it, resistance, and then that's when everything just fell apart, right? So that tells you that support level was huge. And it's still there. Now it's just resistance. And that's technical analysis 101. Support when broken becomes resistance. Resistance when broken becomes support. All right. So that's what we'll look for there with regards to the SPY going to next week. But like I said, I'm going to go over this with you guys on Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you set your reminders. Okay. Get it? Got it? Good. Anybody have any questions for me before we break for the weekend? If you guys have any questions for me, now is the time to ask. You guys have any questions for me? Thoughts on TMDX? What's that? That's nasty. This is not a good looking chart. So let me show you what I'm looking at here. Okay. This is not a good looking chart. All right. This $70 is a massive level for TMDX. And I'll show you the impact here. So it was resistance in 23. You got above it, support, 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 support. You broke underneath it. Resistance, resistance. You broke above it. Support, 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 rally. You dropped back into it, support, broke it. Resistance, sell off. So now $70, you expect $70. You have to treat 70 as resistance until it breaks back to the upside. So you just continue to look for that to be resistance. Support levels are going to be right down here at 56 or so. And then you have a gap fill all the way to 43. I'm not sure if the stock gets all the way to 43 to fill the gap, but I think you could try to bounce off of the mid 50s. Okay. I think you try to bounce maybe off the mid 50s, but I would mute those expectations because $70 is a big resistance level. Thoughts on Palantir next week? It's hard to think anything other than a long on Palantir, but I actually think Palantir might double top. It's hard to be anything but bullish on Palantir. I mean, honestly, it's one of my favorite stocks now that's in my long-term portfolio. And I know today is a very exciting day, but I think you got to be cautious of a potential double top or like a pierce of the high and then a pullback. So maybe I'm thinking like maybe something like this, like something like that is kind of what I'm thinking about. What I don't think you're going to get, I don't think you're going to get this. And I don't think you're going to get that, but I could be wrong. You know, the stock is so incredibly strong. It's like it amazes me. Like every day, it amazes me that I look at Palantir and it's at another all-time high. It's like every day I feel like it's at an all-time high. So the stock is incredibly strong. I certainly don't think anyone should try to short it, but I just think that if you're long, I feel like taking profits into this extension is probably a good idea. I just think it might run out of steam here soon. Thoughts on Apple? I kind of feel the same way about Apple. You know, I mean, this is such an incredible move as Apple actually approaches a $4 trillion market cap. I think there is a little bit more room here on Apple, but I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel like you might like make a new all-time high and give you something that looks like that. I kind of feel the same. Like I feel like Apple and Palantir, I kind of feel similar about the two. Thoughts on Meta? I'm a little disappointed in Meta that I wasn't able to reclaim this level. So what I was looking for Meta was, you see this resistance, broke it. You tried to hold support the last 2 days, then you gapped underneath it and you could not reclaim it. See how now it became resistance. So I'm a little disappointed that Meta was unable to reclaim that resistance. So I'm a little iffy about Meta. I feel like I think Meta could bleed a little bit further to the downside now. Like I'd say 575 maybe. You might form a new trading range now from like 600 top, 575 bottom, and just kind of like trade inside of that little range. I think it's a little disappointing that I was unable to reclaim that level today. So that makes me feel like you might drift a little bit more to the downside. What's the best time frame for analyzing? There isn't one. Time frames are personal preference. Neither one is better than the other. So for me, like when I'm trading, I actually use a 4 time frame breakdown. So when I'm trading, I will actually have 4 time frames: 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, and a daily chart. They're all meaningful. They're all useful. Whether you trade off of a 1 minute, a 2 minute, a 3 minute is your personal preference. What I would tell you is to never just trade off of one time frame. You should always be looking at what's the daily chart look like, what's the 15-minute chart look like, and then what's the 3-minute chart look like. Don't just trade off of one time frame. You're doing it wrong if you are. UNH. I think UNH is kind of in no man's land. For me, the support level is like 450, 440, 440, 450 is the support level. Right now, you're just in the middle of a range. Like you saw, this is a 2.5, 3 year trading range on United Health, right? You broke above it and then everything looked great, right? All that became support then. So this was resistance. You broke above it, then you see support, and then obviously the murder of the CEO, and all hell is broke loose. You can bet your ass that there's probably going to be a congressional hearing where the top executives of United Health are going to be called in to testify in front of Congress, and they're going to talk about health insurance and health claims and life-saving treatments getting denied. And it's going to be a PR. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be an ugly PR situation. But at the end of the day, 93% of United Health's claims do get processed and do get through. 7% of them get denied. United Health is the largest health insurer in the country, and they're a great company. And I'm bullish on United Health. It's actually my largest healthcare. It's my largest healthcare position. Now listen, to be fair, I've owned United Health for a long time. So that's why it's not my largest position, because I just bought it and I just dumped a ton of money into it. This stock has gone crazy over the last 10 years. So it is my largest healthcare holding. And I have no problem still owning it. I do think United Health is going to recover. This is a PR nightmare, not a fundamentally flawed business problem. It is a PR problem. And when stocks have PR problems, I like to buy them. CrowdStrike is a really good example. CrowdStrike got the crap kicked out of it in July when there was that IT outing, right? Remember when there was that outage? That outage was at CrowdStrike's fault. CrowdStrike is the one who was at fault for that outage. That is not a flawed business problem. Like there's something wrong with their business. It's a PR problem. That saw CrowdStrike sell off. And I told everybody during that sell-off, I think this is a buying opportunity. I bought CrowdStrike down around 205 when this thing sold off in July into August. Okay. And now the stock is at 362. So that's a good example of a stock that got crushed because of a PR nightmare, not because of a fundamental problem. And the stock is now recovered. I think United Health is going through something similar to that. PR nightmare, which might get worse before it gets better if they've got to go in front of Congress and people start to talk about, these health insurance companies, and if there's going to be a, advocacy for like changing of the laws or something that's going on. All right. So that's what I'm thinking about with United Health. All right. Those are my thoughts there with United Health. All right. Let's see. What's my outlook on nuclear stocks, CCJ and OKLO? Well, CCJ is yes, it's nuclear. It's a uranium company. It's in that uranium space, which is obviously tied to nuclear. OKLO and CCJ are two very different companies. I'm a little disappointed that CCJ was not able to hold the all-time high. Okay. You had double top resistance at 56, right? You had double top resistance at 56. You broke that in the last couple of months and you were unable to hold it. So that gives me a little pause that you were not able to hold it. This is a weekly chart, by the way, and you have a nice support level here at 50. So I do still like the long there. What I really like is like the mid to high 40s and this 100-day moving average on the weekly. Look at this moving average. You guys see that? You guys see this moving average? So that would mean that you're looking at a buy zone somewhere down in here for support to maybe, you know, do one of these. I'm still bullish on it. I own CCJ. I own CCJ from the 20s. The stock is currently at 52. I do not own OKLO, but I do like OKLO also for the long term as a utility company that's involved in nuclear power. I do like this $17, $18 zone. You can see previous resistance and then now support. So I still do like this. I think that if there is another pullback into here, you can still look for that level to hold. And I would think that, you know, $18 area is a nice little viable zone. You have a little resistance level here around 22.5 to 23, right? Minor level. That's not a major level, minor level there. But you're going to have to contend with that and get through that. And if you get through that, that should give you a nice push back up to those all-time highs. And eventually, I do think that OKLO takes those all-time highs out, as I am very bullish on nuclear energy, nuclear power, and utility companies around nuclear power and companies that operate and service nuclear power plants, that build nuclear power plants, and then can sign power purchase agreements with these AI hyperscalers to purchase the electricity from them for the next 20 years. I think it's a great business, and it's going to do well for the next several years. That's what I think. Thoughts on Starbucks and AbbVie? I love AbbVie. AbbVie is another very large healthcare position for me. I really do like AbbVie. AbbVie also pays a 3.5% dividend. It is not easy to find a 3.5% dividend. And AbbVie pays you a 3.5% dividend, and the stock has also done very, very, very well. Look at this uptrend that the stock has been in since 2020. I still like AbbVie. Buy zones for me on AbbVie are between 155 and 165. This zone right there for me is a beautiful spot for longs. As I do think that AbbVie is going to go back up into that area. I like AbbVie. I own AbbVie. I own a lot of it. And I will continue to. Starbucks has not done well this month, obviously, but I'm actually bullish on Starbucks long term with the change of CEOs. So you have a real nice clean chart pattern here on the daily on Starbucks. It's very clean and clear. Your support level is the low 70s. You have this downtrend resistance line, and you can see we just got to that resistance line, rejected it, and sold off. So the closer you get into the 70s, I think that the better off this is for a potential long down here in the 70s. And I think that the new CEO is going to be able to turn this around. It's just going to take time, right? So in case you don't know, the CEO of Chipotle left Chipotle and is now the CEO of Starbucks. And under that CEO's run, you can see what Chipotle stock has done, right? Under that CEO's watch. So I like Starbucks. I think it will take a little bit of time for things to turn around. I think Starbucks is a much longer term play. All right. All right, folks, that wraps things up. That kind of does it for me. I gotta run. I gotta jump. Always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Always, my pleasure to go through and answer these questions for you guys. I think that I actually don't think next week is going to be a slow week. I know we have Christmas on Wednesday. It's right smack in the middle of the week. And a lot of times that leaves for an uneventful market. I don't think that's the case. I think that there has been way, way more volatility than what was expected the second half of this week. And I think some of that carries into next week as the end of the year comes into play and people are going to be looking for signs of a Santa Claus rally. So I think you still got to buckle up. We had probably our best P&L week of the year was this week inside True Trading Group. We'll see if we can keep that momentum going into next week as we finish off the year strong. Finish off the year strong. All right. So again, folks, if you guys are not members of True Trading Group, just go to ttgoffer.com, take advantage of the holiday sale, $847 for the whole year. That's it. Double your money back guarantee. If you guys can't make that, that membership fee back at least once with us. We'll give you back $1,694. Any questions, text us 1-888-621-2127. All right. Thanks a lot, folks. Make sure you set your reminders for Sunday. I'm going live at 6:30 Eastern. I'll see you guys then. Have a great weekend, folks.